I got a interesting story. So the other night we have a drunk white guy in the bar, and he's just like uh, completely wasted, and he's telling everyone he wouldn't be in the fields, he'd be a house nigga, mimicking Bill Maher,
Oh God, here we
Oh,
go.
fun.
and that's when it hit me just how big what he said was. 'Cause I didn't really think it was that huge a thing. I wasn't like completely
Don't let that fool
outraged,
you.
but apparently, white people are really taking it and running with it. Like,
No, yeah, don't let that fool you. It's not a big deal. But the thing is that they because it wasn't a big deal because the way he said it wasn't like a big deal. It was a self. He was talking about himself. So most black people didn't care. So they're feeling like, oh, now we got the green light, kind of. So they're testing waters and shit.
Oh yeah, racist
They
cacks will
always
take
do.
that and run with it.
That's what they do. They're habitual line steppers.
Do
Yeah,
you
but
think
that joke was innocuous to me. It ain't
that's what I keep hearing. That's what I keep hearing. But then there's other people that are taking it very serious.
The joke was in bad taste. You know what I'm saying? The joke was in very bad taste. It's like, you serious? Like, that joke had to cross his mind. Like, do I say it or not? And when he said it, it was like, nah, you shouldn't have said that shit.
You know why I was cool with it, man? Because that's a joke that say if they were like on the panel, like in the desk or whatever, with the four members or whatever, and the same person had said that, and Killer Mike or a black person was there, and they would have made that joke, they would have got a good laugh out of it. So it's a very obvious joke. And he's pushing the limits, quote unquote, right, to say it. And the fact that he went there is what makes it funny, whatever. I mean, he's a white guy saying it's hilarious.
Not funny to me.
And the only reason, the reason he said it was because he was fucking talking to, dickhead there. If he was
Right.
talking to
That's
a
true,
black
too.
person or just like a
Yeah, that's true too. He wouldn't have said that. That's true.
everyday cack, he would have not used it because it wouldn't have made any sense. That was the whole premise of the joke, even though it was not really funny.
That's true because
It's a social
essentially
commentary.
that's very true. I agree.
So you guys are all gonna just say it's no big deal.
It's no big deal, man.
It's a big deal
I
to
mean,
me.
if you want me to feign outrage when we go live,
Talk
I'll
about it,
do for
Norman.
you.
Talk about it, Norman. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal because it's like there are comedians who told a line like Carlin. Carlin was great. I love Carlin, but you know what it was? Carlin knew what to say and knew how to say it, and also he stayed in his lane. Mar is a comedian, but at the same time he knows what he's saying is right and wrong, and he knew to toe the line. But at the same time, it's like he doesn't give a fuck. He think he has a black pass. He think he has a pass. He honestly think he has a pass, and he has to find.
I think that's a reach, even though.
Nah, he knows. He like even
But
Wayne
he doesn't.
Even Wayne Brady was like, he think he has a pass to act black, but he's not gonna get a pass from me. He's not gonna get a pass from
Wayne
him.
Brady's just offended. They've got a history.
Yeah, but I feel I took offense to it because it's like yeah, anybody else can say it, but you're white. You're not supposed to say it.
Hold on, Norman. So, when did you first hear? Did you actually see the clip first and take offense of it then, or did you hear the news of it?
I saw it like the next day on YouTube, and I watched the video. I watched the video by itself, and then I was like, that's just a bad joke. And the more I thought about it, I was just like, yo, who the fuck does he think he is saying this shit? This shit is like ridiculous. I'm like, come on, because then I started thinking about it. If a black comedian said the K word on national TV, in that same context, he would have been out.
But that's not what he said.
Bro, nah, hold on. In that context, you know how many jokes that have been said about gas chambers, yada yada yada, Holocaust,
and those people were punished for it.
No, it just depends on the joke. Some people get punished, some people don't. It depends if it's good or not, if it's offensive or not. In this case, it was whatever. Yeah, I feel like I've seen Louis C.K. stand up, and I don't watch the stand up because I feel like he's throwing that word out too, and he throws it out in a crappier way. Like it's like I'm like I don't want to watch this shit. And so Louis C.K. still has a great career going on. You know what I'm saying? Like it's whatever.
I don't watch.
I think at the same time, he wasn't like making light of the situation. Like if I overthink it, and I'm like, always making light of, African American experience, then I would be like, yeah, it's pretty fucking offensive. But I don't think that's how the joke was laid out. That's the thing.
Bro, I mean, it was an innocuous when the representative threw him the alley and he ooped it. I mean, that was a very, very, very obvious joke to make.
Yeah, and it was fucking weird of Saucy to say something like that in the first place. It's like, don't work in the
Exactly. Why would he use
like,
that kind of language?
What the fuck is
Who
that?
talks that way?
Yeah.
Come work in the fields with us. So what you're saying is you're slaves. I would have been like, so
What I'm saying is that the other guys are racist, not Mar.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
right.
Yeah, but Marsha looked at him crazy.
Yeah.
Marsha would be like, yo, I'm not gonna say what you think I want me to say. I'm not gonna say that. Come on.
I mean, if you think about it, like what Saucy said is fucking way stranger than what Mar said. I don't know.
So in certain instances or context, you guys are saying it's okay for white people to use the N-word.
Nah.
That's not even what we're talking about.
Hold on. See, but
Come on, Dad.
No. The answer to that is yes, because obviously, if you're talking about it in a historical context, you're like reading it. If you're like teaching the class and telling them this were the words they use, things like that, you're gonna say the word. It's not like you're not gonna ever say the word. But I'm saying is,
you know what it is when
you know how to use it.
Well, let's be more specific than white comedians.
Exactly. You know what's funny? When white people say it, they really put the ER on it. Like they don't even say it like they don't even say it like
he didn't do that. Let's not go that far.
Like they put that ER, the hard ER, and they like nigger. Like don't say it like that. Say it at least say it in a joking, my brother type manner. They know how to say it, and they always say it with the hard ER, and that shit is very offensive. That shit is like, you serious right now? Because the way it sounds, it's very, very offensive.
Well, like I said, Kramer said it. He lost his career for it. I think Louis
That
C.K.
was
has said
bad.
it. I think Louis C.K. has said it, and it's pretty trash the way he said it too. I can't think of anybody else that's done it.
Exactly. Like by now, as a white figure, not to really say it. Like when Ellis said it, I was kind of looking like, yo.
Ellen said it, the comedian, the lady.
Yeah, because they was
well, how did she do it?
There was a clip where she was mad about the This was when that gay guy was dragged in Texas. He was the guy. Remember Shepard?
Vaguely. Go on.
Right, and then they asked her comments about it, like how does it feel to be, a gay person who's Matthew Shepard who got killed, for being gay, and then she was like, oh, now how would it feel? How would it feel if people something about niggers? And I was looking at her, and she says, well, I was a nigger, and I was just like, and she said this on Access Hollywood, and I was kind of like, what? Like
you're not doing a good job explaining this, bro. I need more context.
Let me find the clip, and y'all see it for yourselves, okay?
I'm gonna look for that one.
So basically, Wayne Brady is just looking for attention. He's just trying to stay relevant by.
Nah, Wayne Brady and him, they got a little history, man. He's salty.
Oh, it's personal for him.
Yeah, they got beef. They got beef.
Yeah, that shit's clearly personal.
This thread is hilarious. I guess being outraged is just what's in right now.
It's not about being outraged. It's about knowing the bounds, man. People don't know these bounds, man. Like, they're not stupid. They test the bounds because they think they're not going to get punished for it or checked for it. It's annoying as shit. Like, I would never denigrate Jewish people, even as much as Jewish people, feel they get denigrated,
So you think that joke, as said, was crossing the line?
Yes, I think he could have said something more manageable and that was decent to everybody. But he didn't have to say.
How would you have delivered that joke?
Okay, first of all, if the guy asked me, "Oh, you can work in the fields with us," I would look at him like, I would have been like, I ain't working for nobody. That's what I would have just ended it like that.
That's not funny.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. I'm not trying to make a joke. I'm trying to look at him real serious. Like, are you serious? I'm not working. I would have been like, working in the fields. Who do you think you are? I would have turned it on the guy when he said that.
Bro, you mentioned the whole context of the conversation, bro. The guy obviously he uses that term in his regular day, in his regular life, and he's like, "Oh yeah, come work the field with us," all happy go lucky. And the joke was to flip that on him and make him seem racist type shit.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Mar could have did that, but he didn't.
That's how could he have done that?
That's
the only way to do that is to comment on the field comment.
Like I said, it was just a bad taste, man. He could have said something more manageable, something better. That's all. And I just was like a bad taste. I wouldn't have said that shit. You're on national TV. You gotta watch what you say, man.
Nah, most definitely.
I didn't know
that guy in Denver, the sports broadcaster, he got fired last week or a couple weeks ago because during Memorial Weekend, he was talking about, I'm not comfortable with a Japanese guy winning the Indy 500 on the Memorial Weekend.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Oh, wow. I didn't hear about that one.
So he got fired.
Well, Jesus, I would hope.
Yeah, but again, but like he got fired for that little comment.
And the chick, we can't leave out the chick that got fired from Breitbart.
You see, the difference is, to me at least, that's not social commentary. That's
true. No, you're right.
Yeah.
The woman is just the woman's a racist, and this guy is probably.
I didn't hear the Breitbart one.
He's supposed to be a newscaster. He's not. It's just different.
He could have wrote it better, but that shit, what he said about the Japanese, I'm not surprised the Japanese guy won. Like, did he really have to make a point of his being him Japanese? Really?
Yeah, I didn't hear about this, but
I'd imagine that was when he wanted to take back immediately too. Like right after it slipped out, when he saw the faces of everyone else in the room, he was probably like, "Oh shit."
Because I think Indy 500 is not too far off from NASCAR, but they're trying to make Indy 500 like high end like F1 nowadays. So yeah, I think if it was a NASCAR crowd, he probably could have got away with it. If Indy 500 wasn't, they weren't trying to mainstream it like it's F1 now or something like that. But Jesus, that's pretty fucking cringeworthy. And again, he's a newscaster. He's not doing social commentary. He's not a comedian.
Right.
It's just fucking racist.
Wouldn't it be awesome if black people got this upset nationally at actual racism and discrimination? It seems like it's pretty localized when it's actual discrimination. Like if something happened, there was something racist that happened in New York. Minorities in New York and maybe even the East Coast would be pretty, riled up, but it's not national like this kind of shit.
Well, you know why? Because it just seems that way. Because, for example, if something were to locally happen in New York, we wouldn't get asked about it here in South Florida. Like, right. But we're asked about this because these are celebrities that everybody knows who they are.
Right.
Yeah, and Bill Maher, it's a mainstream show. It's fucking HBO, and Bill Maher. I think also part of the thing with Maher, not only is the joke kind of on the line, it's everything else that's happening in this country, like the blow up, and not to like spin it off into something else, but all the shit that's happened at Fox and like all the blowback they've been getting, and then the blowback that Hannity got and like the sponsors, and then they tried to do that to what's her name, Rachel Maddow, and and Bill Maher is right in line with that that news that the right wing hates, so they're gonna push that, and
oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll have like
and this is all because of Trump. Yeah. Let me tell you. And let me tell you why. Because he's got liberals so uptight about everything that any little thing that they want to take offense to, and they want to protest, and they were so like they're on high alert right now for any fuckery.
Can you blame them? Look how everybody, all these minorities are getting attacked by these crazy ass white people. You gotta be on alert now.
I think. I don't know. If you look at whatever the stats are now with all these hate crimes going on, and even in like big liberal cities like New York, you know, hate crimes, whether it's aimed at, you know, whatever minority, they're through the roof, and they've been through the roof for the last, I don't know, 6-8 months, and it's not a good climate.
Trump's making white people proud to be white again, which I'm
Something
slowly
like
learning.
that.
Which I'm slowly learning is code for Nazi. Like it's apparently being proud to be white means you have to be fucking overtly racist or something.
Yeah, like kind of neo-Nazi-ish. I don't know. I mean, I think, you know, Trump's rhetoric. I mean, we saw, you know, who his big supporters were during the election campaign. And I mean, they're not all racist, but there is that large faction, and the fucking Tea Party was a fucking racist group too. So let's not act like this is, you know, out of nowhere.
Yeah, but you know what? In thinking, like when you say
that's the conservative right, dead.
Oh,
no, and that's America. Like when you're gonna bring America back and make us part of our roots. I mean, the white history in America is that. Like it's not like France where they have a culture of other shit, not necessarily being racist. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, yeah, they have slaves too over here, but like over there, they're doing their own shit.
Yeah, I mean, what makes white Americans proud?
Exactly. That's like the unifying factor.
Slaves. And being Republican, being conservative. Right, Dad?
has very little to do with conservatism. I'm not even gonna take the bait. But Trump is a different animal. He's he got elected because white people felt disenfranchised, and you know.
But look who he surrounded himself with. All these great guys like Sessions and Pence, and you know,
and you know what,
Bannon, and
I still
the whole co.
Yeah,
Miller,
I still think
Miller's a fucking racist. A fucking racist.
To this day, to this day, with everything that has happened, I still think Ted Cruz or a Huckabee would be worse. I still would vote for Trump over any of those candidates.
Jesus, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I fucking absolutely hate Ted Cruz. And Jesus. But no, I don't think Ted Cruz would have had these foreign policy and staffing issues, and
like
Jeff Sessions wouldn't have been his eternal.
The picks were just terrible on the conservative. Trump was the pick. Like he just was the pick. He just the real problem was the opposition. Like I'm not gonna put it on Hillary. I'll just say the whole party, the whole DNC, just really dropped the ball and let Trump get in office.
His own party shouldn't have let him get in office. Deb, what are you fucking talking about?
They didn't really have I believe they even tried some fuckery to kind of screw him out of the nomination. Like they couldn't stop him. Like he had enough of the white base energized that they had to go with him. He was their horse, whether they liked it or not. And they still to this day don't like it. Like he's Trump is just a fucking question mark for president. He can't be controlled. You know, he's not on the hook to any large corporations like they would like.
What are you talking about?
Not like they would like. No, he's too much of
privatizing air traffic control. I mean, everything is about corporations.
Well, that's totally different. He's too much of an egomaniac to just be held in check by someone. He might even just say, "Fuck any deal that he's made." He's stiffed people in the past. You just can't rely. He's a wild card. Like he's a loose cannon. Like that's definitely not what they want. That's bad for business on both sides of the aisle, regardless of where you stand. Like no one's a fan of Trump, except for the racist.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, he's, as I've said a million times, he's not competent. The government is not competent at all in any aspect of what they're doing.
Well,
So,
well, I mean, I feel that way about government in general, so I can't really comment. But
well,
yeah,
Dad, I think if you could look at past administrations, you would say they weren't, do they have issues filling their cabinet positions? Do they have
you know what?
issues,
It's
stuff like that, and like the budget, which is a joke, which will never pass. The
he's really
Obamacare,
yeah, he's
which will never.
really a like. It's such a difficult kind of thing to really assess if you're like a small government type or if you lean libertarian. How ineffective he is at getting anything done is kind of a good thing. Like, if you don't want government doing shit, Trump's actually doing a great job. Like,
Government's rolling along the same as it ever would,
no, he's not
in
actually.
the sense that it exists.
Well, true, but he's not actually getting a whole lot done. He's being very ineffective in governing, which isn't terrible. You know, nothing presidents
Being ineffective
okay.
in governing, that's separate from being a libertarian or wanting a small government.
It's a step in the right direction.
That doesn't make sense. Sorry.
It's a step in the right direction because I would like for people to really lose more faith in the state because it's really misplaced in my opinion. I would like it if people really turned on the state altogether.
I get the sense that people are losing faith in themselves as voters more so than the state. I mean, the state has existed for hundreds of years, bro. That we're not gonna lose faith in it because of one bad official.
It's been
that was the case.
It's been a lot more. Someone made a comment that we have like battered wife syndrome with government. I think it's true. Like it just continues to fuck us, and we just keep running back.
And when you say we, you mean we in the United States, we in every fucking country in the world. Who was we?
Just
everybody.
Just we in the United States. Fuck the rest of the world.
Dada, I mean, I think the last 8 years went pretty good. Stock market, health insurance.
I don't think they were pretty good. They were better. They weren't pretty good.
You know,
Obama was in perpetual war the entire time, bombing sovereign nations daily. I wouldn't call it good by any stretch, but it was better. You
didn't care about the other countries, bro.
But it was better. Well, I care about us killing people in those countries, but I mean, I don't care about their governments like that. Like, I don't see how anyone could call perpetual war good. To say that.
Did I say perpetual? Hey, did I say
all right, the last 8 years,
perpetual war was good.
Obama was at war. Obama was at war every day of his administration, and
you're gonna find one single aspect and say that makes everything else bad. No, government doesn't make
wars are pretty big. I think as far as impact, yeah, I'd call a presidency bad based solely on the fact that they were at war the entire time. I would just that
one. But we've been in perpetual war since Korea.
Ridiculous.
So.
And it's been bad the whole time. I don't think just because we've been at war means it's okay all of a sudden. Like, it's been terrible the whole time. I've been against it the entire time. It's never been okay, and it's never been.
So that's the only thing that's making you against it, though. Everything otherwise, you'd be fine.
Well, no, I hated Obamacare too. There's a lot of stuff. But his the administration was better.
Was it ineffective?
I wouldn't say it was ineffective, and it was.
You know, Obama pretty much rescued this country from so many fucked up, failed aspects of Bush's fucking 8 years of hell, domestically, and especially foreign policy-wise, and as a country as a whole.
I would have liked to have seen a few crashes. I would have liked to have seen us not rescued in a few instances, to be honest.
And to what end?
I think
it's very selfish and self-serving.
Yeah, I agree with that though. I don't like the bailout.
Yeah, I think
the bailout happened before Obama.
Yeah, which was a terrible president too.
Yeah, I didn't like the bailout or TARP, but other than that, I have no complaints.
like all the presidents are shitty. Like, we're just debating shitty presidents here. But Obama was probably the shiniest piece of shit. He was probably the best that we've had in a long time.
He was that one turd that didn't break off. So he had to wipe that much.
Didn't leave any marks in the toilet.
Yeah.
You know, he had a pretty clean presidency, and I think I think it's his presidency is looking a lot brighter because of Trump. I think
No.
I
No.
know for sure. I think
No.
if Trump, whoever was before and whoever comes after Trump is going to have a very low bar.
Well, I mean,
It's
I
not going to
wonder
be
why,
hard to be
Dad.
better than Trump. Like I could probably, well, no, I probably couldn't, but the next president's going to look pretty good right off the back in the first 100 days, as long as he's not fucking scandal ridden like Trump. He's saying the bar super low.
You're probably more qualified for the position than he is. So
Yeah, he's saying the bar super low. Like I don't think we can really. I don't think comparisons are what we should be trying to do in any area, really.
Mm-hmm. I feel you.
Like Obama at least was qualified. I didn't really like the guy, but he was qualified. Trump is not. Like,
Of course, Trump ain't. I mean, Trump is not a what's the name? He is not a politician.
well, that's not what qualifies you. That's not what qualifies.
I know,
He's
but
not. He's not a statesman.
con man.
He's not educated.
He's not
He's not a
educated.
He's
smart
none of
person.
these things.
He's not smart. He sounds rather stupid when he talks. He has no type of awareness that his words mean something, and he's a constant liar. How can he, I mean, he's not even a liar by politician standard. He lies just to lie. You like, come on,
He's
son.
definitely out of his depth. I wouldn't go as far as to say he's dumb, but
Dad, he's dumb. Okay.
I I have a hard time accepting the idea that dumb, incompetent men can reach the highest level of office, lead the free world, and be billionaires in this country. I don't want to call them dumb. I'll just say this is not his arena. This is not his arena.
I don't even know.
what would you
I don't
consider-
even think business is his arena. I mean, he's fucking what? Collapsed. No.
He's always going bankrupt. I mean, at the same time, at the end of the day, when you look at his business record and you look at his records when he does business, his businesses constantly fail, no matter what.
The only people who say that are people who aren't in business. You never heard an actual businessman comment on that because
how
most
many businesses go
fail.
bankrupt?
Most businessmen actually fail several times before they're successful. Failure is a part of business. You actually fail way more than you succeed if you're in business. That's part of
How
the
many
business.
bankruptcies do you have to have?
True. And bankruptcy is just smart business. If you look
No,
at
it's
it,
not. No,
it's
it's not.
smart.
No, it
it's
is
smart
not.
business. He's taking advantage of
No.
the system.
No.
It's
No.
good business.
No, it's not.
Good business.
There's nothing good about bankruptcy. You are fucked for life, whether it's corporate bankruptcy or anything like that.
And I wouldn't trust you to run a business. You go bankrupt constantly.
And plenty of people have pointed out his business failings. Buffett has pointed out his business failings. Numerous business people have pointed out his business failings.
Anti-Trump people. Okay, all right, very well.
No,
then.
not
Sure,
just
as Oprah
anti-Trump
pointed it out
people.
too. Okay, all right, you got
He would have made based off of his inheritance. He would have had more if he just left it a fucking index fund and did nothing his whole life. The guy's he's a terrible businessman.
Bankruptcy allows you to protect a large part of your wealth. It's kind of just a loophole.
These corporate bankruptcies, that's why he can't get any fucking loans. That's why he can't get any money. There's no redeeming quality in fucking filing for fucking bankruptcy. There's none.
All right, let me ask you a question. What do you think the point of filing bankruptcy is?
It's to restructure debt. But at the same time, anytime he's going to have to go for a loan, whether it's a corporate or a personal loan, he's going to have to write down that he fucking filed bankruptcy. I get loans all the time. You have to disclose it on your fucking forms. You think a bank is going to lend you money after you filed numerous bankruptcies? No.
All right, let me.
It's a fucking fact.
If you guys are saying he's a failed businessman, how is he rich?
Yeah, what is he?
No, how has he failed?
He's
a failure. He's a failure in business. Explain to me how
he inherited a ridiculous amount of assets.
Okay, he inherited a ton of assets, and he failed in business. Yeah, and he failed in business. How has that wealth grown him?
How's it grown?
Yes,
property prices in New York, and rental prices in New York, and selling property. Yeah, I mean, anyone can fail and fall upwards in that business.
That's a good point.
I'm not talking out of my ass.
No, you're not. That's a good point. He's right.
So
you can fall up, bro.
That is true. It is true in New York. So you're saying Trump completely failed as a businessman. That's what you're saying.
I don't know. When I look at what I've read, yeah.
We gotta wait for his taxes.
I don't
then we'll know.
That's part of it. But no, I mean, I think if you compared him to other New York real estate families, yeah, he's a failure.
Like I said, I'll reiterate the point. I have a hard time calling the leader of the free world an idiot. What does that say about the rest of us? A billionaire leader of the free world, and you're saying he's a complete failure. What does that say about everyone else, or the system itself? Not even us individually. What does it say about the
I mean, if you inherit hundreds of millions of dollars in assets in the 60s and 70s and 80s in New York City,
how does that get you to lead the world? How does that get you to lead the world?
But that
he have a lot of good things to say about Americans.
He is a reflection of the system. Yeah, I mean, I mean, he didn't get the majority of the vote, and many of us Americans are stupid people. Many of us. That's why he got so many votes.
So he's the president we deserve. Correct.
I never argued that.
So the system is working correctly then, and giving us
the system is a problem. We got to take away the electoral college.
Whoa.
Just let us rock.
It needs to get redone. It needs to get redone. It needs to get redone. It really does.
Dad's like, hold up, let's protect those white landowning rural Americans. Let's keep them safe. Let's insulate them from the real world.
Let me ask you a question. When did
people like Bush and fucking Trump get elected?
When did the electoral college get fucked up? Surely it wasn't fucked up when Obama won landslide victories, right?
I mean, it's been fucked up. People have been talking about this at least since I began voting, which was in 2000. Right.
This has been going on for a while because I think Kerry won the fucking popular vote too. You know, it's not. This isn't some new problem, and this isn't something that people are just talking about now. The electoral college has been a problem for a long time. So let's not frame it as some. This is new. Trump. Let's don't turn this into some Trump argument. This is a separate issue in itself.
You guys want elections decided by the popular vote.
A lot of countries have straight up.
I'm aware. I'm just asking, is that what you guys are asking?
Yes.
By popular vote.
I just want to be clear. That's what you're asking for, direct democracy.
Why can't it be a direct democracy, though?
We have it in the local level.
You see, Dad, the problem is it's not just about. Well, I know you want to frame it for one way for any purpose, but it's so many aspects of our voting, and it has to change. It has to. It's registration and the things we talk about all the time, gerrymandering, these, fucking racist voter laws, that try to discriminate against minorities and black people solely based on race.
How brutal. North Carolina, guilty of racist gerrymandering. They've been
found guilty like fucking 5 or 6 times and they keep appealing it.
It's so brutal.
I think there's 5 court rulings from the Supreme Court that have come in, and there's at least 3 in the last month and a half. It's exasperating, and it's not just North Carolina.
And nothing's done though.
I don't know how they're going to fix it. I think at the local level they have to fix it. And again, that's talking. I think this goes back to, in part, the Voter Rights Act that they fucked up. And they took the federal oversight off of.
All right, let me take 2 of the points you guys just made and see how they go together. If it's a problem that should be fixed or has to be fixed at the local level, and the voters are directly voting democratically to have it be racist because they are racist, how does a direct democracy deal with that?
Well, that's not the democracy fixing it. These are the politicians who are setting up the system.
I understand, and they're being kept in office by the people directly. I think the direct democracies would work better with an informed
I don't think
populace,
everything.
with an informed citizenry, and we do not have that.
I don't think everything should be directly voted on. You know, it's not that hard to set up laws that aren't fucking.
Kansas is a good example of.
By definition, though, the laws that these people are creating are fucking racist. That shouldn't be allowed to happen. You know, that in itself is a fucking problem.
Yep.
And that's why the Supreme Court is striking them down. So we can't just ignore that and just write it off as, oh, the populace is dumb, they shouldn't be able to vote.
If this keeps happening, I think you said there's been 3 or 4 or 5 cases. If it keeps happening and nothing's changing, and these same politicians are being voted back into office by the people, at some point you have to look at the people. Yes.
It's not just elected people who are making these laws. It's I think it's the lower courts and also like whatever officials are in these positions. They're not even always elected officials. That's the thing. But I'd have to look at the issues more.
It seems
especially
like
in how to fix it, because it's not like, oh, you know, your congressman or whatever was like, oh, well, we're gonna just go and do this. I mean, that's not what's going on.
Because like in whenever the issues of our democracy get brought up, you have situations where you have states like Kansas where schools aren't even getting funded, yet the governor's voted back in. It's like, can you really rely on voters alone? I mean,
like I said, I mean, I think there needs to be laws in place that can prevent detrimental things that keep happening to the population. I don't think that's some out of the box thinking. You should not be able to fuck over taxpayers and citizens at the rate that they're doing it. I mean, Kansas is an extreme example, but there should be laws. And I mean, most states have constitutions.
It's crazy.
Strong enough ethics in place to prevent stuff like this from happening.
It's crazy we have an extreme example that's actually occurring as we speak.
Well, you know what? You know what it is? Go ahead.
I was gonna, because this is kind of related to Kansas. It's some other state. I forgot to post the link, but somewhere in the Southwest. Anyways, schools in somewhere in like major city, they're only operating 4 days a week because they fucked up the funding so bad. I don't think it's New Mexico. Maybe Nevada. No, not Nevada. I don't know. Anyway, somewhere in the Southwest, they screwed up their funding so bad that schools are operating 4 days a week.
Jesus.
That's completely.
That's horrible.
It's insane.
I mean, not for me. I mean, you know.
Right.
If we, it just seems like direct democracy doesn't solve the problems that we're facing. It seems like the pointing to, voters or popular votes doesn't really address anything, because people have a long track record of voting against their own best interests. I don't even think it's really
the voting public is stupid.
Exactly. That's an argument against direct democracy, though.
But see, here's the thing: a direct democracy, right? It only works if everybody is together on issues, and also if everybody had to, like we have so many things. We have so many states, right? And they're all fractured. One state could be liberal, one state could be staunchly Republican, and one state might not agree with another state, so that way it's held up. A direct democracy is all good and fine when you're talking about a small country in the Middle East where nobody goes. But when you're, a direct democracy, it might work for us, but you know what? The system has to get redone too as well. Like, you can't just implement a direct democracy. A direct democracy only works if the senators are on the same page, and the Republicans and the Democrats and every person has to be on the same page. There cannot be any fucked up decisions.
I think you can
have a multi-pronged approach. I mean, it's easy just to say, oh, direct democracy XYZ, multi-pronged approach. It's not some crazy idea.
I think, well, I don't think anything's going to happen in that regard anytime soon, especially with, with our government the way it is now, conservative.
Mm.
But it just seems like that leans its way. It becomes a number game, and that kind of leans left. If you turn it into a pure numbers game. And a one-party system scares me more than a bad two-party system.
Well, I mean, right now we basically have an ineffective government that doesn't get anything done, so that's not working out too well either.
And the system is corrupt because you know what? The only people who get things done is the people who pay for it.
Well, that's not gonna. Changing the way we vote isn't going to do anything towards that end.
But you always have somebody with money who's an outside influence who happens to corrupt the vote.
Well, that's always going to be there. In my opinion, that's always going to be there. Like
that's a huge problem, and people need to address it. They need to start calling out. These politicians and senators and Republicans, Democrats, they really need to start putting people on blast to say, listen, this guy who works for this so and so company paid me $200,000.
They start dry snitching, not happening. You want a crusader, not happening.
See, that's the whole point. When do others get punished for their corruption? Nobody gets punished because they're all in on it. Nothing will change.
Welcome to American politics. Like,
I mean, the way it is. Didn't one of the ex-presidents a long time ago mention about the war influence or the war companies profiteering off of war and influencing the government? Didn't he bring that up basically?
I'm surprised you're not in on the small government train. You seem pretty pretty.
I'm kind of like whatever works for the country is the best thing for the country. That's my idea. Whatever works for the country might work for everything. Like we could look at outside countries and the way they implement things, and it might not work for us, but it works for them. You know what I'm saying? I think a country based on religious ideals not really good for me personally. In America, the way it is, it's very secular. It's a multiple religious ideology type country. You know what I'm saying? And even some people who is not religious, it shouldn't be. These senators who make these laws, they always put religion behind it. And you know what's funny? When they put religion behind it, they persecute the person who is against that religion.
I don't like side by side comparisons with other countries at all in any regard. I think it's stupid. I think
America needs to change. America really does need to change. It needs to change the electoral process. It needs to change how laws are made. It needs to change these people who are in positions of power. It needs to change outside influences and stop with the outside influences because you know what? They cannot be trusted.
I don't think those are so much American issues as just part of the human condition. I think that's just people in general. As long as there's power to be bought, someone's going to try to buy it. People are always going to be corrupt. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. Actual solution would be removing the power that's there to be purchased in the first place. But, it's just my opinion. Cannot find the state he was talking about. School for the. I don't understand how school doesn't get funded. That's just insane.
Yeah, I'll try to Google it quick, but
I just don't understand how usually if there's anything people turn out for, it's children and gun rights. Don't fuck with kids and guns. Like people.
I found it. It was Oklahoma.
Oof. Insane. Yeah. Insane.
Oklahoma school districts, the whole state enacts 4-day school week. The crisis is in the wake of years of tax cuts and declining revenue. Yeah, well, there you go. I'm just, I can't. I'm like,
it's insane.
And the end result is the stupid populace.
I wonder where the money goes.
Well, half these places. Well, actually, I don't even know. Because
It seems-
yeah, maybe they won't have a state income tax, but they'll have a high as fuck sales tax or something else retarded.
Well,
It's not enough to make up a deficit, I guess, to do your roads and your infrastructure projects, and then the money goes to that instead of the schools and your universities, because they're, liberal powerhouses of, sin or vice or whatever the fuck they say.
I just would like to see what is getting funded, because it seems like there's a priority issue. Like, I don't think the press coverage that you're going to get from not having schools open is the same as having, a road falling apart or roads falling apart. Like, you should really make sure schools are funded. Like, it should be high on the list. It should be really high on the list.
Yeah. I mean, because like, what do you, especially if it's a young kid? I mean, you can't just leave them home. Most people work. Yeah, I mean, it's a disaster. It's crazy.
Ripple effect. Yeah, there's a ripple effect there. Like, short-sighted.
Very, very short-sighted.
And no one will probably be voted out, which is, you can't rely on voters, man.
Well, I mean, they create a self perpetuating, state of affairs where you can't get anything done. You can't get any people. You can't have an educated population because you've made school so expensive or in such poor quality that no one even can digest half the things that they're or have the time to work all the time.
Fucking insane. Oh jeez, fucking insane. What is Trump gonna do?
Throw the MAGA hat on.
Part of the deal, man. He's gonna cut a good deal. That's what he does. Cuts good deals. Like, oh, his Middle East deal. How embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, when he has nothing to show, not that people still don't even fucking know what's going on. But when all is said and done, and he still has nothing to show for what his term was, it's going to be amazing to someone like me who can sit there and read and say, "Oh wow, you really did." After all that, I'm really looking forward to that.
There still doesn't, the DNC doesn't look like it's going to be able to offer much opposition still. I'm hoping the next 2 years or so they get it together.
We'll see what happens. There needs to be just no.
Even as bad as it is, the incumbent president always has a leg up.
I don't know. There's no common sense legislation going on. There's no common sense platforms. I don't know. I know who I hold responsible. So, and I'm sure the other side feels the same way. But if you can't do things just basically based on a I don't know. It shouldn't be as hard as it is to get things accomplished. There's no reason for it, and it's not just a political divide. I think there's an issue with reality, because if you're not going to do things based on numbers or science,
where that's right, never mind. I saw your post in the thread. You were pretty disgusted with him not signing the Paris Agreement.
There was no basis not to. There was just none. Not only was it not a legally binding thing, it's poor statesmanship again. If you can't,
it's that one issue right there shows the mindset of his stupidity. It's really just dumb.
Yeah, and there was no good reason not to do it. There wasn't, other than to lie to his supporters, which I guess that's no benefit to the country. We go from just like getting out of TPP, which was much more controversial. Either you want to be, a world power. There's no alternative for the United States. That's the thing.
And now, you know what's funny? Ever since they left the Accords, now they put other countries to come up with a better way of making green energy, and China is really gonna kick our ass on that shit. China's really going in, and everybody's saying, "Oh, how come China's doing this? China's a polluter too." But I think China has learned their lesson. They're pouring billions of dollars into renewable energy, renewable green energy.
Yeah. I mean, what China's doing is smart, and not only.
What happened?
I didn't really take issue with any of there was a little bit of outrage over China taking a more prominent seat or position in cleaning up the environment. I didn't see why that was a bad thing. I didn't really.
It's not a bad thing, but it's the fact that the U.S. should be on the cutting edge of all things technological, green energies. Basically we should have our shit together to where we show the world that, hey, guess what? We're going to do this and this and this, and the world will be like, oh. And you know what's funny? The America gets paid off of the creations and the projects. We get paid off of this, but Trump is not thinking long term. He's thinking short term.
We could still be on the cutting edge without signing the agreement, though.
Yeah, but it's just a bad taste. Like, how you gonna be on the cutting edge when the head of the EPA doesn't like the EPA? Like the lady who's leading the education never worked a day in her life, and never she's staunchly against education. Like people who's he putting in these positions don't know how to do their fucking jobs. The person who's in control of the energy department didn't even know there was an energy department. Go figure. Go figure.
All right, that's an hour. We're gonna call it.
All right.
Peace.